Let's explore the water cycle. The water cycle is a continuous cycle where water evaporates, travels into the air, and becomes part of a cloud. It then falls down to earth as precipitation and then evaporates again. The process in which the water cycle occurs is first evaporation. After evaporation occurs, then condensation takes place. Next, precipitation will happen, and the last step is collection. Afterwards, the entire process will start all over again. Now let's take a closer look at the processes of the water cycle. Evaporation is the first process to occur in the water cycle. Evaporation is the process by which water changes from a liquid to a gas or vapor. Most evaporated water exists as a gas outside of clouds, and evaporation is more intense in the presence of warmer temperatures. Approximately 80% of all evaporation is from the ocean. The next step, which is condensation, is when water vapor in the air gets cold and changes back into liquid, forming clouds. Condensation generally occurs in the atmosphere when warm air rises, cools, and loses its capacity to hold water vapor. After condensation occurs, precipitation takes place. Precipitation is any form of liquid or solid water particles that fall from the atmosphere and reach the surface of the earth, such as rain, snow, sleet, or hail. It is the primary connection in the water cycle that provides for the delivery of atmospheric water to earth. The last step in the water cycle is collection. Collection is when water falls back to earth as precipitation. It may fall back in the oceans, lakes, or rivers, or it may even end up on land. When the water falls on land, it will either soak into the earth and become part of the groundwater, which the plants and animals use for drinking, or it may run over soil and collect in the ocean, lakes, or rivers, where the cycle starts over. These are the processes which makes up the water cycle. Now, I know that you may have a few questions regarding the water cycle, such as why is the water cycle so important? So let's take a closer look at the water cycle. The water cycle is important because every living organism on the earth needs water to survive. Without the intake of water, all living things will die off. Water is one of the single most important components of any ecosystem. All living organisms need water to grow and survive. Imagine a world that has no water. Can you imagine it? Because I can. There will be extremely hot and dry weather. We would have no water for drinking. We wouldn't have water for even cooking food. And no water for bathing. And most importantly, there will be no way for us to survive. Therefore, the water cycle is extremely critical to the survival of all living organisms. Without water and the water cycle, we will have no way to nourish our body, replenish it with water, and grow. This sums up the lesson regarding the water cycle. I hope that you enjoyed, and you guys have a great day. Thank you for tuning in.